Excited to get to see this one play out. Normally I have a somewhat well-reasoned idea about what I think is going to happen here, but today in this semifinal, it feels like all bets are off for me. I'd believe anything.
Well, we'll see how things go here as we get game number 1 underway. A best of 7 to play in the finals. Freaky, airborne, Yukio over the top of the front line of Chronic's got a dive from the corner. Gets it out to Tox into an open net, though. That'll be goal number 1. Freak Zone Company.
Oh, well played, Tox. This is a pretty clean start. It's really just a Chronic needs a clear, and to be honest, he gets it. It's just right to Tox. That was really his only touch. He didn't really do anything wrong there. Just midfield well defended. Easy start.
Aether will start on top. Godsmill now out to the side, and then flicks it back into midfield. Yukio down the middle line. Ixo to the backboard now, trying to dab it out to a teammate. Only Tox in the midfield, picking up control. Now a Chronic. Down the length of the field into the corner, and Ixo takes his time getting the bearings on this ball. He'll dodge one demo and find a second block, but Chronic now going to try and gain control out of this corner, taken away by Yukio to be freaky in the midfield. Just shoots dead center. Ixo dives off the backboard, makes the save. Yukio will clear it to midfield. A Chronic looking for the pass, but Ixo intercepts it into an empty backfield again. 2-0 Aether.
Yeah, don't try and force that one through Ixo. He really did have that one read all the way through. He saw that ball head out to a Chronic, and he just knew. He was like, nope, I've got 2 people behind me. It's more likely he passes one left, and he read that one like a book.
In the first minute, we've seen Aether score 2. The Chronic over the top of 1 and into the goal. No, Yukio dives across the box and makes the save.
Slow start here. The BS+. They've been trying to press, but really hasn't amounted to much. As Yukio, chance to double tap, comes up empty, follow-up shot by Ixo, and Godsmilla one-on-one. Look at Tox close the gap instantly just to keep the pressure going.
They try to find the backflip in the midfield. Hold on to control, but here comes the counterattack from Godsmilla and Freaky. Put it onto the backboard, the clear from Ixo is good to midfield, but a Chronic counters it. Back in front of the box, Godsmilla for the shot, misses. Tox trying to gain control, and an empty backfield for the 3rd goal in a row. What is happening with BS?
Well, Freaky believed that Godsmilla was getting a touch here, and then that's why he starts moving forward. He doesn't even think for a second that Tox is ever going to have a touch, so Freaky really just caught expecting something else to happen.
3:15 left to go in game number 1. It has been all Aether, and all of their goals coming on an open net. Well, that one sort of halfway counts as Godsmill wasn't quite able to dive across. 4-0 as they run away with this game.
You ever seen a worse start to a semifinal for a team? I'm not sure I have. This one's bad. I mean, that first goal, like, okay, that one's understandable, right? They get the strong clear, it goes all the way out to the midfield line. It's just right to somebody. All right, fine. Sometimes that happens. But then you've got three more goals that just, your 3rd man's just getting beat, and you can't do anything about it because you're just making the wrong choices. Gotta find the time to settle down and figure out how you want to approach this midfield line, because right now, BS+, it's not looking pretty.
It's not just the 4-0 scoreline, it's how those goals went in. It's where BS Competition was when the goals happened. And I love the aggression from the team. I love that they're like just committing and believing in each other. The problem is when the whiffs happen, and Ixo turns it another one, and when Ixo's been as on fire as he has been today, you're gonna have your hands full.
Yeah, Ixo's always been a fantastic goal scorer, and Yukio put that one in a great spot for him. It's choosing, making that defender choose, right? It's if Yukio puts that on target, great. If the defender saves it, that's fine, but Ixo's there just in case another option is possible, and way to go and get it.
Touches from BS, put it into the box. Freaky looks for the pass to Godsmilla. And then in front of the box, Eco's going to try and dive for this one. It's still safe, it's still shootable there, but it will go high. 2:15 left to go, half the game, but a 5-goal deficit. At this point, this competition just trying to gain a little bit of control back in the series. And this one well placed. The goalie not going to be able to dive for that one. An unsavable shot from a Chronic.
One you definitely needed. Freaky able to sneak it through 2 people over on Aether's side and Tox. I mean, yeah. You can be good, but that one, you weren't saving that, to put it lightly.
2:07 on the clock now. CBS competition finally on the board. blistering infield pass. Ixo on the outside with Yukio. Behind him, he gets the shot himself. Godzilla makes the save. Tox was diving for it to try and secure it, but no, he'll actually miss, and now Yukio trying to set up Ixo once more. Godzilla flips for it, but he's got the ball all to himself. Gets bumped off the ball by the retreating offense, and Tox will take control from the backfield. Acronic now trapping it in front of the goal, and then trying to challenge Tox off the ball. Freaky will get the pass up to Acronic. He reaches for it, and he did not get his flip reset. It looked like he might have. 1:30 left to go. This competition just trying to get a little bit more of a foothold in the series and slow down the bleed from Aether.
And they seem to be doing that in fairly fine fashion. But you really, another one. You got to give a lot of credit to that man right there, Tox. And he's been a stable defensive unit here in this game. And he's been put in some one-on-one scenarios in transition, and here he is in a one-on-two, and look at him just cut it down. He's going to take a pot shot and open net. Oh, no, okay. It's a wrong skip for him.
It does roll high. They won't get one more for the road. But yes, BS Competition seem to have at least hunkered down a little bit more, widened out their rotations so they're not getting scored on open nets, and I believe Game 2 will be a very different story. But that being said, Ixo, how do you stop this man? When he's already, the few goals that weren't open nets were wonderful shots from the corner. Ixo making a name for himself in this series, or on this day, in this event, as Aether is trying to play in the grand finals.
Really evident from Aether having an awesome game one, no doubt. 3 assists for Yukio, 2 goals for Tox and Ixo apiece, and a boatload of shots for him. A smattering of saves, and like you said, it's kind of the product of multiple things, right? BS Competition giving them some freebies, right, that you know should not be happening, and that's why we expect Game 2 to be different. But at the same time, like you said, you got to give a lot of credit to some of the shots that Aether were able to pull off there in Game 1. This is an ugly start if you're Freaky and company, and you know you need to change some things. And I think they had a decent amount of time in a couple of situations to turn in some transition goals. It's just like I said, I think Tox was being a real strong third man there. I think he played a great game as a back roll there.
Yeah, for sure. Well, we got Aether having to put up 7 saves in this series on the 9 shots we saw from BS Competition. So not a lack of productivity from BS Competition here. They'll have to find a way through that back line a bit more often in the future series. But I do think that when we see them keep this rotation established well, not leaving that third role so open, and maybe a little bit, this is gonna sound weird, a little bit less trust in your opponent and your teammates there, not assuming the pass is gonna happen and being like, let's in the event the pass doesn't happen, let's make sure we don't have a completely open backfield. I think once they hunker down with that, we'll be just fine.
You got to give yourselves a little bit of extra room to operate. Yes, you're not wrong to be thinking aggressively in those situations and really trying to, outpace the opposition, but it's just some of those situations were just so awkward. Caution was a little more warranted than it seemed that they were willing to think of.
Well, they have a fresh slate here in Game 2. Chronic out of his goal will miss, and Godsmilla will push the issue forward. Takes it slowly as Yukio challenges him onto the wall. Looks to the midfield, no more boost, he'll leave it for Ixo. Sends it to the goal, Freaky moving out of the corner. It's the save, and Godsmilla will find the transition to midfield. Ball was to Tox, though, and now Ixo and Tox are going to work together. Freaky just bounces off of his hood and towards his box. Yukio puts it in front, and Tox is there. Well read by Godsmilla to keep it in midfield.
Great job from both teams, I think, on that challenge, but the problem for BS in competition is that, never mind. Chronic's just broken him out and put him in a one-on-one. He's going to turn it into a goal. It was going to be a problem until he won the challenge right there. I think so that quick recovery as well to beat Yukio pays dividends, and Tox, he actually covered that up very nicely, but can't cover everything, and Chronic, I mean, you can't doubt that guy at this point, right? He's hit some nutty goals this regional alone, and he picks apart the defense there.
In the first minute of game number 1, BS Competition was losing by 2. Here in game 2, they're now up by 1, so already much better start as they figure out the rotation thing, and they'll make it 2! Oh my goodness, shooting behind the goalie's well-placed shot. Freaky makes it a 2-goal lead.
It's because this approach from Godzilla is so weird. He just backflips it because he's trying to delay his car arriving with the ball so he can like maybe potentially get a dunk. And I'm pretty sure everyone on Aether on that goal line was thinking they were going to have to just straight muscle a ball right through Godzilla, and they just did not get a strong touch with that extra space Godzilla gave them. So that follow through came a lot harder than they would have liked.
BS competition sorting out their issues quickly here as Tox looks for the mega read. Doesn't find it. Ixo also going to get beaten by a Chronic. This one driving number 90. Yukio's got to make the save. Here comes Godsmilla. Shoots to the other side. Yukio dives across and makes another stop. What a defensive performance after losing the front line. And now here come Aether on the offense. Tox into the corner with Godsmilla challenging him. He'll pinch high. We'll slow down for a moment as Yukio comes in for the follow-up.
Ooh, those double touches missed from Freaky as well. Going to make this dicey. Godsmilla in the race against Tox, and this ball is jammed in this corner and relieving the pressure finally. Freaky
with control. So demolished, but we're going to stop a Chronic with a pass back down to Godsmilla. Intercepted though with the point of contact, and he's got to go for a back pass now. Freaky somehow winning that challenge. Ixo's touch also goes towards the goal. Yukio will have space to stop it, but Aether will slow down. They trip over themselves a little bit. They'll tie their shoes and move forward.
Ooh, and a nasty hop. Way to knock it down. Ixo, he wants a second touch. He's got the support of Yukio too. Real risky here. Again, Toxin 2-on-1 and lifted long. Like to see that transition develop, have a little more time to develop, I should say.
Oh, demolitions in the backfield. Oh, it could have been there, but Godsmilla's not going to block Ixo. He'll get through one, but Tox is coming in for the follow-up. He gets the block again. Godsmilla by himself stands strong in BS competition. Keep their neck lean.
Big miscommunication, though. Ixo and Tox both jumped up for that floater from Yukio, and now they have to play defense from a strange position, but able to get the clear and fight for possession of the midfield line. Forget that. Ripped off the crossbar. A Chronic, one of the gentlest of taps. And everyone's going to take a moment to breathe there.
Freaky into the corner now with Ixo waiting for the ball. They'll flick it over him. Chronic comes in, and Ixo wins 2 challenges in a row. That'll put it into the back blue. Yukio challenging Godsmilla. Both players demolished. Tox will have some space with this ball. Moves to the midfield, but now looking for goalies, and it does it! The dual threat, the fake on the control, going to give them their first goal.
What a shot through traffic here from Ixo. This is tough to read. There's a lot of people coming up to get this ball, and I don't even know how he decides to go back post there. What a shot.
It might have been the only shot he had. Seeing the diving save moving across, he's afraid he's going to catch the back bumper of a Chronic, so shooting back post the only play, but well done by Tox also, catching all the attention, getting the players to jump for him, and then they have to quickly adjust for the shot. Instead, we'll see the first goal for Aether, now only trailing by 1. Minute and 18 left to go in game 2. He's dropped to midfield. Godsmilla, oh my goodness, Tox falling, makes a save, and then gets the demolition onto a Chronic. 3v1, and Godsmilla will get the save.
Big challenge there from Ixo to slow down that transition, and that only leaves a Chronic a middling difficulty shot at best for the defense, and gotta love the delay approach in the midfield when you know you have to buy time and you're on a tight time schedule. Like right here from Tox, you need some type of touch to buy extra time. Again, they get the job done.
Yukio through one. Freaky trying to pass across to Godsmilla. He actually just takes the shot himself, and it's blocked by Yukio. 30 seconds remaining. Aether trying to bring it back in game 2. For winning game 1, they'd love to have the 2-game lead, but Freaky sends a shot clanger to the top bar. Ixo gets the save, and now carries him to the midfield. He's got it past 1. A Chronic will slow things down with a block and looking for a second one. Wins the challenge flying across the sky. How about it? Freaky now with 10 seconds left trying to clear it out of his corner, but Ixo and Yukio advancing. 1 player in the box looking for goalies. 4 seconds left, and Ixo's backwards. 3 players out for BS though, and Ixo can't gain control. Off of his wall. Off the wall again, and the Tox is going to try and keep it up. We'll pinch it to an empty corner though, and it'll take, it takes what a roll. Tox is up for this, but into the ground. Okay, they got 1 lucky touch, but couldn't capitalize on it. BS tied the series.
Well done. Early start here, and they never gave the lead back despite all of Aether's best efforts. Gotta love the rally there from BS competition. We just said, all right, calm down, stop being so aggressive, and it seems to have paid off quite nicely for them there in game 2. And now, going forward, really, it just becomes a matter of, okay, this looks to be a classic, so to speak, a freaky game where it's just, okay, it's all about consistency here, and if you make one bad challenge, you're going to be in a terrible spot. And so this one really is going to boil down to the execution and the decision-making, I think.
You have the players, you have your Ixos out there who think, can I do this? Yeah, probably. Let's go for it. And they pull it off. And then on the other end of the spectrum, you have your Turbo Pulses, your Marky Doodas, your Freakies, the players who are, I just need to be in the right place at the right time, always make the right shot, not to take anything away from how good of a player Freaky is, but the slow, clean, vanilla play is the sort of thing that keeps a player like Freaky constantly in the meta and also makes people like casters go, Freaky's washed up at this point. Oh, Freaky's not that interesting. Like, he's not flashy, but he's very consistent. That's what's kept him in RLCS for so long.
He's going to put you away if you give him the chance, as both teams have, I think, a very similar lineup, right? You've got a Chronic and Ixo who match up quite nicely. You got probably Freaky and probably Yukio who match up roughly equally, and then Godzilla and Tox really the flex players wherever you need to put them. It's a very similar matchup.
It's shown so far, tied up, one game apiece. This one lofted for Godsmill to try and reach this. He's got enough boost to maybe get back to it, but Ixo's going to take it away from him before he gets the chance. Yukio, with the demolition on the Freaky in the midfield, will pave the way for them to advance here. Freaky on the respawn, gets the clear, and now looks for a Chronic in the mid. Cross one. Back down in Tox, taking control, flicking one. A Chronic's up for it, finds a clear. Yukio now airborne, down to Ixo, well placed, no, just too high. Yukio on the follow-up will put it in, and just after the first minute, we've got Aether back on top.
Great shooting, Yukio, and how about the pass? Tough chance for Ixo, but he doesn't hit it too high. He keeps it just above frame. If that goes off the backboard, it might take a bit of a different skip and be a lot harder for Yukio to actually have that follow-up chance on, so great transition and a nice passing play to turn it in.
So off the ground, Freaky will get up for the block here, but it's just a little bit of a temporary block. It's there for Yukio, up for 90, well placed, Aether up by 2.
And you can see Yukio's approach here. He knew this ball needed to go right side because he saw Chronic coming. And so he just made sure to get all the way around the backside of that ball and really square it up. So good follow through again from Yukio. The guy's locked in right now.
I don't understand, he's driving right and then turns back left and shoots right. Like, just such car control from Yukio there.
Yeah.
Oh, and then a demolition to pave the way. They're going to get 3. Godsmill is not going to get there on the respawn. Aether starting to run away with game 3.
It's the bump on Freaky in the midfield. There's that demo off screen, and then right as Tox is coming down off that wall, there's a bump on Freaky as he's rotating back, and that means he is not going to be anywhere near in time, and you just hope that Godsmill respawns with enough space and time to get back to save that shot.
3:35. BS Competition looked to have sorted out their issues from game number 1, and while it's been a very different story here in game 3, the scoreline is starting to shape up the same way. New issues arising as Aether really is just cranking up the heat, shooting well, finding ways to dismantle the back line now that it's not dismantling itself. I think they were.
Some
team finishes in the semifinal. How about it?
I'd believe it, a Chronic one-on-one, straight at Tox, and maybe high in the net, but still no problem for him.
Oh, Freaky maybe trying to connect with Godsmill here. If he can just get it to him on the backboard, the defenders will get up and block the shot. Now a Chronic onto the wall. Not going to get a second touch, and Ixo will clear to Tox. Now into the blue corner. Freaky over 1, Godsmill in the midfield, looking for a Chronic blocked by Yukio, and a Chronic hung in the back instead of moving up for the pass. Big brain plays. Give them an opportunity to push. The ball spending so much time in the middle of the field as these teams evenly matched in the clear game. Godsmill will get a touch, but actually has space to move up on this one, but can't gain control of his car in time. Ixo now connected with Yukio. Oh, just barely going to miss the goal here is Freaky off to the side. Chronic down the midfield has to challenge Tox.
So strange. BS Co right there in their own half. They had the chance to break the pressure from Aether, but they just were maybe out of position, wanted to approach it from a different spot, but now it's costing them a bunch of time just to try and get out here, and Yukio, another chance to put one away.
Yukio took the shot, Ixo with the follow-up, Freaky try to dribble this one out, and Godzilla commits with him. That's a 2v1, and Chronic's got to stop this, and he does. They won't get a breakaway goal. BS competition, no goals here in game 3. Demolition from Freaky. Help open the door for a Chronic, and he puts it on the backboard again. Tox gets enough of a stop to keep it out of the box, but isn't it up?
Wow.
No! The touch from Godzilla sets it up for Freaky, and they've got one.
A Chronic, I mean, how about the speed to come off that wall and force Tox to make a weird touch, and Freaky just willing. That's some very far forward play for BS+CO in an uncertain scenario, but Godzmilla's little touch on the ball to get it back in frame. Ooh, gotta love the willingness to be aggressive. You know you gotta score 3. They give themselves some good amount of time to do it.
Yes, they have. We saw in game number 1, this team has no hesitation to just send all gas, no brakes, everybody forward, and the shot goes up for 90 just wide. And now in a situation where it's needed, with 1 minute and 30 left to go, as you pointed out, they were down by 3, needed to commit like that, and big props to Godsmill on the pass to somehow flip that one back to Freaky. And Freaky's just, again, right place, right time. He's built a career on it.
What a jump.
Tox gets a stop, and McChronic will dive back in to clear it away before they can put in a 4th goal here, but Aether just not going away.
Gotta love the challenge game from Aether at this midfield line all throughout game 3 here. They really, if they could have somebody in position, they were getting a piece of that ball and really forcing Freaky, Chronic, and Godzilla to work quite hard to get the ball out of their own half, and that's really what you love to see.
Ooh, off the wall. Freaky with the follow-up, doesn't make contact, and Ixo will clear it away. That goal could have really opened up this end game. Trailing by 2 in the final 30 is going to be really difficult. Chronic gets demoed here. Godzill's got to get the bump. He does! It's open for Freaky. 20 seconds left. They've got a chance.
Now, finally, they miss a challenge here in the midfield. Ixo gets played by Godzilla. I think he was expecting more on that flip reset. And Ixo just got dusted. And how about the follow-through to get the bump? And Freaky, nice, clean, easy dribble into the net. 21 seconds, 1 goal. I mean, at this point, I'd absolutely believe it. I've seen Freaky's team do this so many times, and there's the bump in the corner. All they need is the pass, and thankfully getting a piece of it.
Chronic nearly got the double bump. Final 10 seconds. Oh no, an empty backboard. Looking for the tap. Yukio covers up the first shot. Here's the follow from Freaky. The pass to Godsmilla. Soft flow over the top of 1. 3 seconds left, but no. The defense sorts itself out, and the ball will hit the ground. Aether able to sneak away with game 3.
Take a breath. They knew they could have had that. There was some opportunity there, but just too little time to really get set after that kickoff and feel like they had a solid rotation going, and Aether able to hold on for the win. That one was dicey, though. You got to be scared because it doesn't take much for them to break through that midfield line and really start putting the pressure on you. That's the thing. That's your one problem if you're on Aether. You've been being very aggressive with that 3rd man. You've made a lot of great challenges and got yourself a nice early lead, but if one time you don't get a piece of that ball in the midfield, you find yourself in trouble very fast.
No, on the very end there, pixels away Freaky was from getting a pass on the Godsmilla's nose that would have given him the ability to shoot at the entire net. The defense of Aether very much floating and loose, not able to really dive for anything. So just millimeters away from sending us to overtime, but Aether is just strong enough. BS just not accurate enough. We'll go to game 4 with Aether up by 1 in the series. You see Freaky off the wall. Godsmilla to try.
I want to know how fast that would have been if that went straight into the corner of the net. Oh, man.
Been wild as Godsmilla puts it onto the backboard. Ixo handles it fine. Can't reach it for the second one, but Yukio in the midfield's got a lot of space, and he'll just blast it to the back 3rd. Chronic trying to wrap it on the wall. Tox will block 1. He doesn't have any help, though, in enemy territory, and a Chronic with a miss on the side should give the ball to Ixo. Freaky now trying to push it through another one. Chronic dump it in midfield for Godsmilla. Well passed. The defense stands too much in the way. He won't find a shot. It's Ixo and Tox to try to cross the box. Freaky gets it through 2. Yukio was able to win that challenge in just a small window where Freaky had lost control.
He's really just trying to shove hard there at the midfield. Oh, they get caught. What, Yukio?
Oh.
No!
Pass too far. Too far in front for the first time. We'll get through the first 61 seconds without a goal. Ixo onto the backboard. Nobody's home. He has a whole net to tap it at. And Puts it off the backboard a second time, though, and that gives the defense enough to get up and block. It significantly limits the shots he has with how closely he chased that ball. Now a counterattack, going from BS. Oh, they miss on the backboard. He drops it in. A Chronic will score goal 1.
Man, he was committed. I mean, yeah, that pass from Godzilla comes out and he gets the touch, but how many people decide, yep, sticking with that one, redirect from your own half and just be like, 50 boost in the tank? Sure. If they miss, why not?
I think he knows it's so fast, and Ixo does have to get up out of his goal, dodge the crossbar, and make the save. So I can maybe understand it. And props to him, too. Believed in it, called the bluff, and got paid. Godsmill now with the back pass to a Chronic. They'll send it to the sky.
Oh,
with the redirect back to a Chronic. The pass play is beautiful, and BS is up by 2.
Ooh, freaky. Talk about a takeaway touch here. Floater from a Chronic, and yeah, let's just drop it back down. Bye-bye. We'll see you later.
3 passes there. BS holds the ball the whole time. Aether doesn't get to touch it. They're up by 2. Looking to tie the series. A back and forth affair. It's crazy because the games have felt kind of lopsided. Like it's felt like when Aether's got control, they've got control, and when BS Competition's got control, they are absolutely the better team on the pitch, and it's changing with every game.
It's quite a joy to watch, to see the level of execution required to pull off some of these shots. Chronic here, a little bit of a lazy one, but a double commit. Freaky. Oh, put that one way up on the backboard.
Tox here out of the corner. Oh, pass 2. Chronic's up onto the backboard again. This time Tox is present there to receive the ball. Godsmill will try to challenge it. Gets through 1. Ixo takes control, but Godsmill now looking for the back pass, and the Chronic will just try to stall things in the midfield. Yukio takes control from him, challenging Godsmill and Freaky now. The back line finds the bump on Freaky, and Godsmill is struggling to gain control of this. The Chronic's going to have to move in to help him out, and they will end up sort of double committing as Godsmill at the very last moment found control. Freaky finds a front box block, which was absolutely needed to keep Aether off the board. Their positioning was deadly.
Yeah, I would love to go back and see that challenge from Freaky's perspective, just to understand how he was reading the play. Chance to double tap, turned aside by Aether, and Tox just trying to work his way out, and they actually still have a lot of time here.
You have a lot of time left in the Chronic. Chronic just driving straight past that ball on the ground, though, and now taking the pass into Freaky. They set it up and shoot to the near post. 3-0, BS Competition.
This is just great understanding. A Chronic not picking up that boost, and Freaky knowing that a Chronic really can't do much, and sees that positioning from a Chronic, and since he doesn't immediately pop that ball up into an air dribble to try and tap it into the top of the net, it's just that mutual understanding of balls getting tapped to the left. I'm going to be right there for it.
Trying to challenge players in front of the box, but Tox can't fully dunk defense. Right now out of goal. Freaky and a Chronic both commit. Godsmill is going to be alone to try and get this one around Ixo, and Ixo's shot is just wide. Now on the ground, Godsmill handled it just fine. Clears it now a long way down the field. Tox and Yukio off the back. Freaky not going to make contact, and a Chronic will try and pick this one up, pinch it off the ceiling onto the backboard, and Tox somehow reads that.
I feel like after watching a Chronic get bumped up into the ceiling and find a dunk a couple of days ago, I feel like any time he decides he's going to commit to it, he can get scored. As Freaky here, going to put game, 4 well out of reach.
Man, so back and forth here. As Ixo maybe getting zoned a little bit by the front line pass from BS Competition that went through, got it off the corner, and then went through the box, but still Ixo. Maybe in most situations, I feel like I would expect him to be able to block Freaky there. And it's little moments like that that make you go, oh, well, just BS Competition, better team on the pitch right now. But then you look at the scoreboards across the last few games, and you go, well, are they? They lost game 1, 5-1. They lost game 2, 3-2 with just that last-minute push, and Aether, the valiant stand on the goal line, kept that one away.
And it's so interesting. It's interesting because the thing that you, or at least that I really enjoyed about Aether in the previous game, was their ability to really get a piece and stop a lot of those transitions from BS Competition and really delay a lot of the attacks coming their way and keep the pressure going. And it's just completely absent here in Game 4. It's like, it's not like it's even in the process of getting evened out. It's like, it's just gone.
Maybe this is two different teams that both play better when ahead, the lack of pressure, making them feel comfortable. Hey, we can just go for our plays. And once we have that early lead, and it has been the team that scores first wins in all 4 games so far. We'll go into game 5. No closer to knowing who's winning the series. Both teams at 2 games.
No one knows what to expect, and I believe Aether going to be taking a timeout. And I would absolutely take a timeout after this game as well. Just considering that you felt like you've been feeling pretty good in your ability to at least generate some form of pressure and, push your opposition back into their half and earn a little bit of space for yourself. And this one just got crushed. Only 4 shots registered for Aether, and nobody really able to get much of the ball in a lot of different situations. So taking the time out to talk it over with each other and figure out where you think you need to make adjustments at this point is a good choice, I think.
Yeah, I think that the teams are starting to move the meta towards, especially in the best of 7s, take the timeout before the match point. You don't want to take the timeout and only have 1 game to make the adjustments you talk about, or have that mental pressure of, we have to win this next game. We're stopping. We're going to talk about it, right? The thing that can kill you so quickly is I have to win this. That pressure will just make you make mistakes. So take the time out where you're going to talk about overall context and talk about strategy. And you have more time to think about those sorts of situations before the game. You have to win. So I like the choice here from Snasky as well. Hopefully he's got a lot of good things to say to his players here. He's turned off his lights since the last time they took a timeout. Oh. Is he more in the zone now?
It's really trying to focus in on just the screen.
That's right. Nothing. These white walls are distractions. Won't have it here.
But I think you made a good point, though. You need to give yourself the time. Like you said, you don't want to take that time out before the match point, right? You need to decide, okay, what do we think we need to fix? Go into that game 6. However game 6 plays out, then you have that opportunity of looking at the results and thinking, okay, is what we initially surmised correct, or do we need to make some changes elsewhere? And that's the important, extra time that some people need. So good spot to do it, and I think that, we'll see how things play out here in game 6.
The timeout can be a nice mental reset as well, and if you're taking the timeout when your team's on match point, it's difficult for that to function correctly. Coming off of a 4-0 game where you didn't even get 1 goal, just check in with your players' mental. Going to be a key role for the coaches. And we'll see how that pause, or how that timeout changed things for Aether. Start off with a bit of an offensive double commit. And now Acrotic and Godsmill trying to advance here.
And you got to wonder if you're going to get more of that short-range passing from BS+CO that we got in their previous match. Was really enjoying their ability to just beat defenders in some of those races and pass the ball in some tough situations.
Chronic versus Yukio. Ixo will come down as well. Freaky respecting Tox's position, doesn't crash in and take the shot. And all of BS+CO right now in enemy territory, and I think maybe still a little bit conscious after game number 1 of how much they got punished by fully committing all 3 players. Playing slightly safer while still being willing to commit immense amount of pressure.
Gotta be wary of Ixo though. He just initially in that first minute feels a little dive ease jumping at things with his teammates, and not necessarily sure if it's him per se or if it's just him who happens to be in that position at the moment, but something to keep your eye on.
Chronic gets massive power behind this shot to put it into the corner. A minute and a half here without a goal being scored. An outfield pass barely doesn't connect. Chronic couldn't put a bumper onto it. Godsmill will chase it into the corner. Ixo off the wall. Clears out. Freaky tries to move forward. There's Yukio. On the side, holding on to control over the top of Freaky, and Godsmill will jump for it. No challenger. Connects with Freaky, but ball just goes to the back third. No one from BS+CO able to advance.
Ooh, pumped over Godsmiller. Look at that free space, and that's why you need that third man a little deeper back when you see those clears off the walls coming your way.
Oh, and the shot from midfield. Chronic bops up. He's able to get the aerial very quick, get high in the air quickly, and get the block onto his own backboard. And now the ball on the other end of the field. Ixo taking his time getting to this one as it bounces twice in box. We'll see Yukio with a long clear down the field. And BS+CO has really widened these rotations as Freaky gets absolutely mauled out of net. The Chronic's able to cover it up. These rotations looking better and better game after game.
Ooh, and looking for Yukio, tough one. Oh, they went for the pass back. It's never going to happen, though. And So I think he might have caught a piece of that, and he gets a flip back off of Freaky in his own corner to earn his own boost.
Pass to cross halftime with no goals scored easily. The most defensive game of the series. Game that has been averaging 17 divided by 4. That's like 4 goals a game. Godsmill into this corner. Try to put it over 1. Yuki off the ceiling, nearly got a second block there, which would have really opened the door despite both of his teammates being in their back third. Would have been alone in the enemy territory.
And you gotta like the position from Fiasco. Yes, it's further back, but they are making sure that they don't give up anything for free, and it's letting them launch a counterattack even if they have to play dump and chase.
Big block from Freaky, and then Yukio has to push it to his own corner. Across going to try here against Ixo, but it goes neutral to the side, and then Ixo fakes out Godsmill on the wall, but then pass to Godsmill and down the cherry pick, and Chronic's going to be in out of position. Freaky's got to make control of this one. He just takes the shot. Ixo makes the block on the goal line. What a play from Freaky. Ballsy play, forced the goalie to see the shot coming when both of his teammates right in front of him with no boost. Instead of playing safe, he just put the pressure on net. An excellent block from Ixo again. Here comes round 2 from Freaky onto the backboard, and Ixo will get the block, or Yukio rather gets the block out of his goal. Godsmill on the backboard, and Ixo will clear to the edge. Tox just rotating around his teammates as we go to the final minute. Neither team on the scoreboard.
I believe 0-0 at this point. I don't know if anyone's got enough to break through without a miscue or a demo. It's a hot shot from a Chronic, stopped by Yukio, and real slow follow through from both teams. Yukio with no boost, and Godsmilla having to cross the length of the pitch.
Here's Ixo, flick on 1. One can't control the ball. Godsmilla has been fast to the sky in this game. And he'll get a demolition onto Tox as well. Freaky now out of his backfield. He's got it straight down the middle of the field. Yukio to the outside. 30 seconds remaining. Godsmilla to the outside, and the Chronic hangs in the back as Ixo dumps it to the back third. What a clear from a Chronic, though, all the way down the field. Tox not able to beat as a Chronic chased down his own challenge. 10 seconds left. Overtime starting to glimmer on the horizon. First time in the series, there's a demolition. A Chronic's going open net to shoot at and miss. Godsmill will get a chance too! And he put it in! How do they have this much space? 2 seconds left and BSCO's on top.
Well, because a Chronic jumping in that ball freezes Tox. I mean, Tox is committed to defending a Chronic's touch, so he's playing it from the backboard, and as soon as a Chronic missed, Tox has to try and get himself in a more stable position on the floor, and so he's a little slow to jump back up and get in the face of Godsmilla. And wow, how often do you see a whiff make the difference at 2 seconds?
Yeah, they have to respect the Chronic shot there, but both of them, I don't. It's interesting. The demolition also really widening the space, and well done to Godsmill to find the backboard, or to find the back of the goal, back of the net there. A 1 goal, all it mattered, and now we've got BSCO on match point against Aether, 1 game away from challenging Guild for the finals.
That was a wild one. I was worried about Ixo initially getting a little too double committee there in that game, and then that really smoothed out for Aether pretty much as soon as I said it. I don't think that happened the rest of the game hardly ever. And beyond that, it really just became, okay, we're going to counterattack. Okay, we're going to counterattack. Okay, we're going to counterattack. And then it's just seeing who messed up first. And you can see right there, Tox stuck on the wall with a Chronic coming in and tries to dismount, can't reach it. Godsmilla, a well-placed ball. You earn the win there.
Man, and BS competition coming to life. No overtimes in this series. They have settled it in regulation. We've had a lot of very lopsided games, but that one so close. And I agree with you. It was all about just the counter clears, just back and forth, looking for who makes the first mistake. They find, weirdly, the first mistake.
The first mistake is the offense, and they score.
Yeah. How crazy is that? Like find a way to hey, it was a positional mistake at that point. The Tox is in a position where he has to wait for a Chronic there, and a Chronic recognizing, hey, if I don't touch this, we get a much better look. So, into game 6, Freaky and company, BS competition, on match point 1 away from the finals. Ixo, after such a crazy performance, Aether having a day to remember here. They do not want it to end here. Tox lots of space out of his goal. It's pass 1.
That's the problem. You make that first touch, but the inability to recover to that ball and beat or at least contest the second man is really what makes the difference in your ability to transition and hold on to possession. as Yukio, he's not even going to think about it. He's just going to say, someone else go get it.
So over one off the backboard. Here comes Yukio with a lot of space, but taken away from him from underneath by Acronic. Well challenged. And Acronic gets another save here. A savior medal already for Acronic in the first minute of Game 6. BS+CO are really locking down that back line.
Really showing you the quality of touch is what makes the difference. He never got tied up and going for boost, and oh my gosh, Godzilla almost just dunked Acronic into his own net.
Oh, and Freaky getting it past Ixo. He's not able to quite put it in. A moment ago, we saw Aether with a great opportunity to score in the shot. Slow and bouncing off the ground gave Acronic his 4th save. Here's another opportunity. Into the box. Can't push it through Freaky. Acronic's got control as they tried to absolutely blast it through him, and he just built the diamond wall. Another demolition on the back line. BS+CO playing well and looking like the stronger team despite nobody having scored here in Game 6.
Huge clears back and forth now, and this is where the pace of play can really pick up on you quite fast if you're not in position with boost to be up and immediately challenge something.
Godsmill will put it onto the wall. He doesn't have enough boost to chase this down, but will use his flip to get to it anyways. And a double demolition gave us a momentary 2v2. BS+CO take advantage, push into enemy territory, and then get countered. Ixo and Tox able to clear it into the blue. Acronic to the sky. Off the ceiling, he's got a flip reset, uses it immediately, had no more boost either. Now just trying to rotate out, he'll steal the corner. Tox alone here as Acronic pressures him. Eeks it off the wall, Acronic takes it away from him, gives it to Godsmill. Up against Yukio, up against 2. Got it through them both, but the ball's off to the side. Just enough of a block from Yukio. BS+CO really putting the pressure on. Still no goals. We've crossed halftime. Acronic nearly puts it in, but doesn't get his bumper onto it.
He's going for some wizardry, and Godzilla is putting the pressure on with some great challenges to keep this ball in the orange half. Freaky able to get through 1, but not 2, and pinch back into the middle as Tox, Yukio, and Ixo desperately needs something that is going to generate some space for them.
They are suffocated right now, absolutely trapped in their own half as Ixo tries, but runs into the BS+CO defense. The front line, finally a challenge, will get it into the blue and then take it to the backboard. It's off of 1, Acronic to the empty side. Godsmill committed as well. Freaky's got to make stops. There's 1, and Acronic's got a lot of space. I think Aether was able to collect boost in enemy territory. They had to back off, but neither did BS+CO, so they're still sitting on the back line here. Yukio puts it to his own corner, or puts it to the blue corner.
Good touch from Aether to get that one in position, but trying to do one thing too many there in the corner. Probably better just to recover and find a different avenue forward, and instead Acronic has been a masterpiece on defense. So how about just remove him from the equation? 2 demos now, and Tox just hoping that it's in time. It's not.
Just too wide on the ball control. The respawn's able to get in and block the shot. Approaching the final minute. In Game 5, same situation, 0-0 till 2 seconds when Godsmill was able to put in a shot. Here in Game 6, still nobody on the board.
No.
3-1 onto the backboard. Yukio gets it away. Godsmill will try to adjust on this, but doesn't find a midfield boost, so he's got to rotate all the way back. Freaky with a stop on 1, and Yukio into top on the open net to put it in. 40 seconds left, and they might send us to Game 7.
Who was that got beat on the line? Is it Godzilla? Yeah, he's camped back here, and he was thinking that they were going to continue that dribble up the wall, so he starts heading out that way to challenge him, and he realized too late that, wait a second, I have just given up the net. Then he got beat. Gotta give credit to Tox, though. That was a quick backboard read, and Acronic's gonna tie it up on the kickoff.
Well done, Acronic. Goes on the kickoff. Freaky gives him the pass. He picks up the midfield boost. 3 touches from kickoff to goal, and we're right back to where we were.
Oh, so frustrating. I mean, it looked like they were just about to turn Acronic to smoke right there, and he just got off the demo.
Oh, he's looking for another one. Doesn't get as solid of a touch this time around. 27 seconds left. Do we finally go to an overtime? This Tox out of the corner. Blocked by Freaky, no, but he bumps him off the ball, and Acronic will clear from his own half. Tries to challenge another one. Freaky's got to back out of here as Godsmill takes control. Acronic looking for the redirect. Yukio doesn't respect it at all, just dives over the top of him. Freaky takes a shot, but it bounces off the ground, and Tox clears. Now looking for a counterattack of their own. 5 seconds left.
Bounce.
It's a bounces to the midfield. Yukio versus Ixo trying to move forward. They won't find anything. Overtime in game 6. If BS+CO score, they're in the finals.
Oh my gosh, a Chronic 612 score, 5 saves, 1 goal. Second place, Godsmilla, 248.
Jeez. That has been the Chronic show. He gets it through another one, tries to dive out for this one, and somehow keeps that in the back third. Ixo off the wall. Godsmilla through 2, and Freaky onto the backboard. Godsmilla looking for the goal. He doesn't find anything. Ixo onto the edge. Godsmilla is there, dumps it to a Chronic who immediately 180 turn on this one and takes to the sky. Yukio will read him and put it back to midfield. He's out of boost. He leaves it for Ixo. Ixo versus a Chronic. The matchup to watch until they get the demolition, and a Chronic can't block him. Tox scores. We go to game 7.
That's twice that Tox has been able to get up in front and just jam one in right above the net. Ixo, very familiar with the get the ball out of the corner. That's definitely a strat I remember seeing a lot over on Galaxy Racer. Executed to perfection there, and you gotta love Tox getting up there and winning that fight for the ball right above the net. What a dunk.
Brilliant plays. Both sides. Aether rally back to send us to game 7, and we will have a timeout from BS+CO. They try to just take that moment to reset here.
I'm wondering what they're talking about.
Me too.
Because it doesn't feel like they really did anything wrong, right? I mean, obviously, I think that, you know, Chronic was playing a nutty game, right? It felt like he could do no wrong if he got the ball or was in charge of having to save something. So he was obviously playing well. So I'm curious to see what Freaky and Godsmilla feel like they need to do in game 7.
And what's interesting is you have to alert the referees. I'm gonna get a little bit meta here. You have to alert the referees pretty quickly after the game if you want to take the pause or if you want to take a timeout here. And given that that game was in overtime, and if they had won, they were going to have won the whole series. This would be over. My guess is BS+CO just said, hey, if this happens, we're taking a timeout after the end of this game if we lose this game, no matter what. They made that decision prior. And this is just, hey, we're just doing this. This is just the flow we're in.
Maybe.
Let's take the time to talk. If we're gonna go to game 7, let's just take a moment to recollect ourselves beforehand. I feel like this couldn't be a reactive timeout.
Yeah, maybe not. You make a good argument there, but without that information, we will never know.
Yeah, we'll never know.
But one way or the other, it seemed to be a fairly intense conversation. You can see Freaky, he was really a driving force behind whatever the discussion seemed to be about, but that should not be a surprise to very many people.
No. Freaky's an intense guy, and there are few people I know who want to win more than that guy does. So he is going to be pushing Godsmilla and the Chronic if he can give them any of his own motivation, he will. As all of them. Now on to Champions Field. 5 minutes of Rocket League separating one of these teams from a match against Guild in the grand finals of the 3rd regional. Tox off the wall, nice backboard play, and Freaky will get the clear before Ixo could finish it off. Chronic, Freaky with a pass, well set up, but Chronic doesn't have any boost to chase this. He can only look for goalies or bail. He chooses the latter.
It's just a sequence of fantastic reads from everybody on the pitch right there, and we just find ourselves stuck in the challenge game. Freaky speed. Is that really what they wanted to do? Just get as aggressive as they can in the midfield with that second player and leave the 3rd man deep?
So they're trying to combine the aggression of game number 1 with the cleanness of the last few games, but no, Yukio on a just small whiff in the goal will get goal number 1.
Chronic was initially playing a different play from Tox, and that's what takes him up the backboard there. But as soon as Tox kind of gets that up into the ceiling, Chronic is trying to dismount, and he's just got such an awkward recovery, and he really is not the best place to try and get a good touch. He comes up empty.
And I don't think that this really speaks too much to any ongoing strategy or dynamic between these teams, given how genuinely different so many of the games have been, but in every game so far, the team that has scored first has won. And Aether have scored first in game 7. Godsmilla and company will have to break the trend. Chronic pass 1, rotating onto this, pass to Godsmilla, shoots well, all behind the rotating in defense, and we're tied up.
could you ever doubt it? As soon as you saw this pass come out of the corner, look at Acronic get back to this one straight into the middle of the pitch. And every time that is delivered for BS+Co, it has gone into the net regardless of how many people have been on that goal line. They have some excellent accuracy in this series.
It is so important that when you're getting clears out of your half, you keep that ball. Either you separate the ball from the other players, or you keep the ball near your bumper. In this situation, Aether they kept the ball on the ground and weren't able to stay near it themselves, giving Acronic so much space. They'll tie up the game immediately, but they have to find a way to break the trend. Take the lead.
Very smart trap from Yukio there, recognizing there's a little bit of extra space, but the recovery from Godsmill is so fast. Freaky able to dodge Demo, make 2 blocks, and Tox pulls off because he did not want to give up an open net back the other way. It's going to pan out well for them in the form of maybe 1 extra look, but everyone should reset here.
Man, how good of a defender are you that you make 2 crazy saves and the third man coming in just pulls off because he knows you've got the third one as well. Freaky built a wall in front of his box, and now Yukio on the challenge, though. This one just a bit high, and Acronic will clear to the edge. Godsmill up on the sky. Ixo will beat him to the ball. And it's up to Freaky in the back line again. Now past 1. Godsmill high, puts it over the top of him, and Freaky's challenging Tox. He's got Acronic pass to. Oh, he just lets the ball go past, and Acronic tries to move in to take control, but this drive kind of falling apart for BS+Co.
That was the chance for BS+Co to really try and force the issue there. Tox was stuck in his net with 30 boost. I was wondering why he wasn't up and challenging, and just a miss from Freaky. Free approach here for Tox, and let's hope that one goes in. Double commit, no difference there.
They both land cleanly. Godsmilla takes out of his half. Yukio advancing as Ixo gets the demolished on the goalie. It's going to cross the box. Is anyone airborne for it? Tox tries, but Godsmilla covers him up. Now Ixo sends it to the goal. Freaky's got the save, and Acronic on the counterattack. Gonna tap it onto the backboard. Yukio's already there, though. He'll clear it to the midfield.
Second off goal. Man, there's some strange reads to be made when those balls get in the corner in this series. Up and around the top of the pitch and still having to curve around, and there's a lot that can go wrong very quickly.
Oh, we got 2 goalies. But again, no follow-up pressure from the rest of Aether. Freaky sends it down. There is these double commit openings that BS+Co keep on giving Aether, but they're just not in position to take advantage of them. As Freaky tries. Godsmill now through another. It's Tox on the goal line. He's going to reach for this one. They might get a double commit out of Aether here.
Little awkward. They're definitely having to be wary of their boost game. They're getting a little low.
Oh, wow. I can't believe that the shot went through off the ceiling, but the defense stands up strong, and Aether able to keep us tied at 1 apiece as we go to the final minute of Game 7. Acronic in the corner, just trying to create chaos. Freaky will put it onto the backboard. That demolition onto Tox will open up some space. Freaky down to Godsmilla. He gets it past the front line, but he has to go to the corner. And now the back pass to Acronic. Up against Ixo, shoots the far post. They pull the defense left, right, create the opening, and take the lead.
They kept getting their boost stolen. They were trying to just drive back and forth and pick up all the pads. Ixo isn't even thinking about the play right there. He's just trying to drive out across his net and hope that that 12 pad spawns just on the outside. And then the ball kicks back into the middle, and he doesn't even have time to get back. Dimwin's support player, and they need something here.
42 seconds left. Aether's got to find a way to tie this back up, and they are challenging aggressively in the midfield. Here's Yukio, wins this one. Tox has to go all the way back for his own boost, though, and Freaky will have this ball for free in the midfield. Onto the edge. Ixo and Yukio double commit on offense, leaving the backfield wide open, and Acronic into the corner. He's going to have to find a retreating defense. Can they sort themselves out? Tox will take control. They space out. Okay, they give themselves an opportunity, but with 18 seconds left, they've got to be productive. They can't afford to lose a challenge. Yukio through 1. Looking for the bumps on Acronic. Tox puts it up below. Ixo's got an open net. Up for 90. Tie game.
Oh, my goodness. How does Yukio win that ball through Godsmilla? Godsmilla didn't even get a piece of him. I thought that was the end right there, and Acronic obviously has to dive at that shot from Tox. I mean, you can't take the chance that that's wide. He cannot know that. And Ixo, a bullet into the top right corner.
Wow. 8 seconds left. How about some overtime? They might finish it off here. Godsmill to the outside. Yukio trying to get it to Ixo. It's still up. Can Tox? No, Tox is too far back. They'll put it into the ground. We're going to overtime in Game 7. Next goal plays in the grand finals.
Oh, what a wild ride this one's been. Who knows what's going to happen here?
Anybody does. Nobody does. Watch and find out. Yukio up against Godsmilla. Acronic. Up against Ixo. Ixo now trying to challenge Freaky into his corner. He gets it past him. He looks for the bump on the Chronic, but he's airborne before the Ixo could even think about it. Tox and Yuki on the midfield. Godsmell backflips to stop that one and buy Freaky some time, and he'll play it to an empty corner. BS+CO will breathe for a moment.
Gotta be careful if you're Aether again. You do not want to let what was happening during regulation get started again. It was really, like you said, pulling them left and right and stealing all their boost. Floater towards the right side of the net. Godsmilla in time, and a Chronic with a little space comes up big. Empty Ixo the Tox. Right side down in. Aether are gonna go to the grand finals.
Aether find a way through in overtime. What a pass play. Heading in to try and find it and forcing an own goal out of him too. What a way to do it. It's gonna be Aether versus Guild in the grand finals.
He's got the head in his hands. Oh, he knows he missed that ball. Oh man, that one's crushing. Oh, I mean, it wasn't easy, but it's definitely one that he's got a hold of plenty of times before, right? And that ball just skipped right off the wall, and he just whiffed it, and they just swarmed through that gap, passed it into the middle, and I mean, that's the classic trying to fix your own mistake, and you get in the way of your own teammate, and who knows if they would have cleared that if a Chronic didn't dive at it. You'd have to take another look.
And the heartbreak on the other side of things there. You could see how much these players want this. They have fought so hard to have the opportunity. It's that you don't dare to dream of playing in the grand finals. And then it's one goal away multiple times for you, and you barely can't clutch it out there. Aether gonna be celebrating, but they have to get through it very quickly and get ready for an intense grand finals against a hotter than ever Guild. But Chiefs, I can't wait for this. This is gonna be crazy. We're gonna go to a quick break. When we come back, the grand finals of European Regional number 3 gonna be right here on the RLCS.